Our best laid plans can go wrong. Sometimes things just don't turn out the way we planned them. We think we know what's going to happen, but unexpected things happen and it doesn't turn out at all the way we wanted it to turn out. A number of years ago, when we were still in Dryden, some of the staff families there went on a canoe trip. And we were camping at the end of a lake where there was some rapids that went down to the next into the river below the next river below the lake and downstream from the lake. And we were there for maybe 2 days and a night, and maybe 2 nights. I kind of forget, but anyway, uh, some of the men were fishing in the rapids there, and we were doing okay. But Claire Schnupp was along, and Amos Esch was along, Marlon Miller, Bob Kaufman, um, and Claire and I got a little bored. And he had been out west to some canoe trip training thing, and so he had done some whitewater canoeing. He had a brand new canoe that someone had just given him that year, and so aluminum canoe. And so we got to looking at he and I got to looking at these rapids, and he was looking at the rapids, and he was saying, we could run those rapids with a canoe. We could take a canoe down through those rapids. It'd be really exciting to go down through the whitewater and these rapids with the canoe. And just looking at the rapids, I think we could make it. But he said, I need somebody to go with me. Well, nobody was really interested. I told him, I'll go with you. Sure, we'll do it. And so we walked along the rapids and we looked at which way it had some turns in it, and it wasn't straight down through. It turned a bit, and it went down, and then it turned right, and then it turned left. And so then it was straight down to the river. So we were looking at this and planning where we need to be and how we're going to negotiate those two turns. And the great thing was that after the second turn, there was a spot where it went down over about a 2 or 3 foot drop. That was almost just a small waterfall. It was pretty neat. And right there at that spot, on the side of the bank that we were camped on, there was a huge rock. So uh, we said, okay, this is going to work. We got it all mapped out how to go down through the stream, down through the rapids. And then we told our wives and children, okay, you guys, you come out, stand on the rock. We're going to run this rapids and we're going to come down through. You won't be able to see us when we start, but when we come around that second turn, you'll see us coming. And so we thought this is going to be great. Like we're going to really show our manhood, like how uh, successful and brave we are, and we're going to come around that second. We're going to do the first turn. We'll come around the second turn. Our families will be there watching us. We'll shoot down over that little waterfall and down through the rapids, down to the river. It's going to be amazing. Like we'll really impress them. Well, our wives weren't too sure. They didn't want to come and watch. So, but our children came out to watch, and so we started down. Well, we got down to the first turn, and things didn't go quite as planned, and we got a little sideways in the rapids, which is not good. And then we got to the second turn, and we were still sideways, and I didn't know what to do. We were trying to get it straightened out, and we couldn't. And Claire said, "Well, just get down, like stay down low in the canoe, and we'll just ride it out." And well, the problem was that just around the second turn, the canoe hit a rock that was submerged in the water, but it was just submerged a few inches. And so we hit that rock right in the middle of the canoe, and it dumped us, and we fell out. And the water started running into the canoe, and it just took that canoe and it just wrapped it around the rock. So there was the canoe in kind of a U shape, maybe a C shape, but it was kind of a U shape around that rock. Well, there's his brand new aluminum canoe wrapped around a rock. We were out in the water. The water was about waist deep, and the current was so swift that we could barely stand up in it without getting washed downstream. But we hung onto the canoe and we were trying to figure out what to do. And And of course, our children standing on the rock, it didn't make the impression at all that we thought it was going to make. But there we were. Now the canoe was wrapped around the rock. The one end we couldn't move, but the other end, if we both got under it at the one end, we could just wiggle it a little bit. And we knew that if we could get the one end up just a few inches, more water would run in the other end and it would wash it off the rock. But we couldn't get it up a couple inches. We tried and tried, couldn't move it. So we decided we need more leverage. So we cut down a tree and we took a 15-foot pole out there, a tree that was maybe 4 inches in diameter. We took that out. We put it under the one end. That gave us leverage. Then we could pry it up, and the canoe went off the rock. It washed downstream. We captured it, got it off on the shore. There was a big flat rock there. Now it has a hump in the middle. We get it laid out. There's a big hump in the middle. So we got in it. We jumped in it, and we got it straightened out. Got it pretty much flat again. But there were slits in the side where it had been bent. So we had our children chew chewing gum, and we stuck chewing gum in those cracks. I think we covered it over with duct tape, maybe, and there we were. We were on. We were able to go. We were able to finish the canoe trip, but it just didn't turn out quite the way we planned. We thought we had a strategy, but our strategy didn't work because we didn't really know what we were doing. I didn't know what I was doing. Claire might have known what he was doing, but I didn't. And our best laid plans failed.